That's my mother name.
What's up, guys? KW175 back with another Pokemon Duel video. And guys, I know it's been a minute since my last video, but I'm back. And I'm back with a deck prep video for this grass gym that we have. It's going to be grass with a +1 MP, and we have ice at a +20 attack damage. So we're going to be going over all of the best figures, which figures I think you guys should run if you guys have them, which figures I think we're going to be seeing most of, and how to counter those Pokemon. So we're going to start with the grass types, and there's quite a few grass types to choose from. So let's just jump in to the first Mega that we take a look at, Mega Venusaur. Okay, so I think the best thing about Mega Venusaur, it's going to be a 3 MP. So when you evolve it, you're going to be pulling a lot of cheese wins if people don't catch on to it. I know I got pulled, and for some reason it's not letting me switch to the Venusaur. This is really annoying. Pokemon Duel, you need to fix this. But yeah, Mega Venusaur, it's not too bad. I don't know if it's worth the plate inventory, but you're going to be running Venusaur for most of the duel. It's going to be a 2 MP, you know, and if you want to put some poison type Pokemon in there to try to utilize its ability, you can definitely do that. It has a decent sleep powder, so you can put Pokemon to sleep. I don't know. I don't think it's top tier, but it's an option, and you can pull off some cheese wins. Now, Mega Sceptile, not going to get a buff. It's just going to be a 3 MP. But if you are going to be running primarily grass-type Pokemon, you can potentially get a double max revive out of your Mega Sceptile plate. So 2 plate slots could kind of work like 2 max revives, which is equal to 4. And that tail missile is super clutch whenever you're able to get a knockout. There's a lot of purple guys, so you could potentially get a couple knockouts all in a line. Tapu Bulu, I think we're going to be seeing this Pokemon more than any other Pokemon, mainly because it's going to be a 3 MP that can go through other Pokemon that are not fairy types. That full swing can be super clutch, guys. You can easily cheese out some wins, get some surrounds. Even me myself, I'll miss it sometimes. You don't see that full swing coming, and it's going to negate weight and movement effects of the opponent when you are attacking. But no matter where Bulu is, no matter what turn it is, he's going to negate that weight. And there's a lot of Pokemon that give weight in this gym now, guys. So Bulu, I think, is definitely going to be top tier, but he takes a lot of resources. You're going to have to use a ton of metal, coins, and Carbonite, but the full swing is clutch. Negating weight is super amazing because there's a lot of Pokemon that give you weight, and it can go through Pokemon. It's a great rusher. And if you want to utilize the Ula Ula Wish, I don't know, maybe late game for like Lunala or Solgaleo, if you have a Virizion in range that could potentially Typhoon Slash, and if they have the Lunala or Solgaleo, you're not going to be able to switch with them, but you can negate that ability with Bulu. Now Decidueye, I think, is going to be almost second MVP that we're going to be seeing most of, because he's a ghost type and he can go through all Pokemon, even fairy types. There's not really going to be a way to block Decidueye unless you're running Yveltal. The gold is amazing. It's just like Greninja. You can get a double knockout. His Spirit Shackle gives weight, and he has a Grass Knot, so he's very, very inconsistent for attacking with. But you are going to be able to rush with him, take over entry points. His ability, if there's Pokemon on any entry points of your opponent's figures, any of your opponent's figures on any entry point, you're going to be able to get a knockout if they spin purple when you bring them onto the field. Gourgeist, he is a gym exclusive, though I don't know if they gave him away in a login bonus. Let me know in the comments if they did, but I definitely know he was a gym reward. It's going to be a 3 MP, another great runner. He's not going to be amazing for attacking or a lot of damage. His Pumpkaboo is also going to be a 3 MP, the lower form. You can maybe set the evolution up, try to get some of those cheese banishes if you can put some pumpkin markers on a lot of the opponents. I don't think it's top tier, but again, if you guys are free to play and you don't have like a bunch of Bulu or Decidueye, a lot of the top tier EXs that I'm going to be covering that I think is going to put together some of the best decks, it's not bad. It has a little bit of gold. It has the explosion. You know, you can put pumpkin markers on people and move through them, move off the bench. It's okay. It's a choice. Trevenant's definitely going to be an MVP in this gym because there's going to be so many grass types, and that manipulative is super annoying. And you can move your own grass types, and even though it says it gives you weight, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it gives you weight. I've never had weight when I've moved my own figures, but you can move all of the opponent's grass types wherever you want to, within their MP range, wherever you want to put them. That's going to put them to sleep, and it has a Destiny Bond that's just going to be kind of like a double KO. The Smash at a 112 isn't going to be amazing, but we're using him for the utility of the manipulative. And if you evolve him from the Phantom, Phantom's going to be a 3 MP. But Trevenant on his own at a 2 MP, I think is totally viable just for the manipulative. For Virizion, we know we're going to be seeing Virizion. 3 MP Virizion, super annoying to deal with because you have to be careful where you're putting your figures. You could easily just step work over other Pokemon, set up surrounds with the Typhoon Slash, assuming you're able to land it. They have to protect their goal with 2 figures, unless they're going to be using Lunala or Solgaleo, which I think Bulu could be really clutch in those situations where you have 1 or 2 Virizions on your team and you have them in a position where they got their Lunala or their Solgaleo on the goal. They don't have to worry about the Typhoon Slash. You use that Ula Wish on that Solgaleo, then you can Typhoon Slash for the win. But it's not going to be the strongest, but as Grass Knot. Sceptile, 3 MP Sceptile. I love it. I'm definitely going to be putting Sceptile on my deck, just because you can move 3 MP with them, then hit a stealth hit. So you're essentially moving 1, 2, 3, attack, and then you're jumping over the next opponent, that's the 4th spot, and landing on the 5th space. So you can move 5 spots on the board with Sceptile, potentially. I don't know. It might be worth putting all of my expansions into the stealth hit, but I do want to give myself the highest chance possible of landing the double Leaf Blade. Sceptile is definitely a great contender in this gym. I don't really see Torterra being used. I mean, it is going to be a 2 MP, and if it's all you have, it's not bad. You can kind of keep an entry point open, but it's not going to be too hard to knock out. Chestnut definitely needs a buff, guys. 100 is just not getting it done. Even if you are lucky enough to get the full evolution, it's still not worth it in my opinion. Now we have the Tangrowth. So this is a new banner Pokemon. It's not too bad. I don't really understand the ability in, giving yourself 3 weight and bringing a Pokemon in, and then they get weight if they spin. I don't know. I think the Energy Ball is really clutch. It's really good for the Ultra Beast decks, but essentially any Pokemon that doesn't have a dodge. So Stealth Hit on the Sceptile. The Ultra Beast, if you think about the Call Signal, basically anything that's not a dodge if you're able to pull it off. And then it does have the ability to sleep you. It's a 101. I don't know. Tangela, I think, is going to be pretty good. And you can set the evolution, but I think Tangela might be better just because it has the spinner. And it's also a 3 MP. And it gives weight for every time that you spin. So we will talk about Lurantis later on, but Lurantis has that Solar Beam, I believe, that knocks out the opponent no matter what if they have weight. And I seen one of Fodder's video where he had I think it was against Frostico, and he had 10 or 11 weight in his PC. So can you imagine? It takes some RNG, guys. Same with Cacturne. Cacturne, I think, is going to be amazing because it's going to be 2 MP right out the gate no matter what. And it still gets 3 MP. So I love the fact that they incorporated some of the lore of Cacturne, because it says that they kind of travel in packs, right? Stalking travelers in the desert. And whenever they become so tired and weary, they're not paying attention, they come in for the attack. So it's like, you got Cacturne on an entry point, right? And then you have another 3 MP on their other entry point. That's pretty much game, because if they go after, they're like, oh, Cacturne 1 MP, in League, or in the gym, he's going to be 2 MP, they go after you 3 MP, you're turning your back on Cacturne. He gets that 3 MP and comes in for the rush. I love it. I think it's amazing. And he has some gold. Again, I think there's going to be quite a bit of purple in this gym. And it's an easy evolution from Cacnea, guys. You can definitely get the evolution, which is going to give it a base 30 spinner. And plus chain level. So I was able to have 1 chain level, but even Cacturne on his own, I definitely think is amazing. Ran with an X speed, you'll have a completely gold wheel, and you can potentially hit for hundreds of damage. It's pretty insane. So I really like Cacturne. I definitely want to try him out on my deck. I'm definitely going to be putting together several deck builds, and then we're going to be testing them out, see how well they do. But yeah, you guys know that I've been wanting Cacturne for so long, so I'm definitely glad he's here, and you guys know that I'm gonna have to try him out. Shiinotic. This is going to be one of the most annoying Pokemon to deal with, but if you take a look at the wheel, it is definitely food for Poliwhirl. So if this thing is going to be annoying for you, run a Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl is going to be a great figure for a lot of Pokemon in this gym, but if you have the Shiinotic, it's definitely a Pokemon that you want to consider running, because you can get that blue just insanely big if you want to get it all the way to level 10, which I would recommend. I mean, it's a little bit of Carmonite, but I don't know. I think it's still pretty viable in League as well. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people run this figure, but it's definitely going to be really good in the gym. Even if you just want to get it to like level 5 is fine. It's going to put Pokemon to sleep. And the purple, I kind of wish it was gold attacks, because then you could just like decrease the weight. So I'm not really sure what you would want to decrease if you did put Carmonite into the Shiinotic, but it's going to be really annoying, and you're going to have to try to surround it. Rowlet, I think there's going to be some blue, guys, with not only the Sceptile, but you also have Bulu has a little bit of blue in it with his Ula Wish. If anybody's running Torterra, I don't know. I can't think of everybody that's going to have blue, but there's going to be some blue slices in this gym, and Rowlet has a potential to evolve. Dartrix, 3MP Dartrix is pretty strong, definitely, because most of the time Dartrix is going to evolve, especially with an X-Speed. I love putting an X-Speed on Dartrix, and then you get the Decidueye. Decidueye straight out the gate, guys. Like I said, I think it's going to be really strong as is, but turning that 120 into a 140, I don't know. That's going to be pretty insane. Lilligant, I don't know that we're going to see a ton of Lilligant, but if you're lacking EX figures, guys, it's a rare. I think by now most people would have it, but if you don't worry about it. I don't think it's top tier or anything, but for a 3MP, it can't be confused. You can put Pokemon to sleep, you can potentially spin for a decent amount of damage. Whimsicott. I don't think Whimsicott is anything amazing. Obviously, it's not getting any buff, but the only thing to really note here is its ability to be able to, the Strong Breeze. You can switch, it's kind of like a built-in swap spot. So you can pull off some cheesy wins, surrounds with it, and it's a fairy type who can block Bulu, so definitely something maybe to consider. Grovyle, 3MP. I don't know that it's going to be needed for the evolution. I mean, obviously, if you can get the evolution off for Sceptile, it's always worth it, right? And Grovyle has a pretty decent chance of evolving, but his ability, being able to move through the entire line of grass-type Pokemon could be super clutch. You could get some cheese surrounds or wins. Leafeon, not going to get a buff. Thicket Slip, you can move through grass types, really catch your opponent off guard. Fomantis is a new Pokemon, guys. That synthesis has the potential to give your figures hundreds of damage and buffs if you're running a couple of them, because even whenever the Fomantis is knocked out, your other grass types who get that damage buff, they're going to keep it. So if you're cycling out your Fomantis and you're lucky enough to keep landing that synthesis and your other Pokemon are not getting knocked out, that damage will just keep stacking. It also has a Grass Knot, which I think there's going to be a lot of Pokemon hitting for well over 120 damage. This gym is not only going to be fast, but it's going to be doing heavy amounts of damage. So it's an uncommon figure, Lurantis is an EX form. I don't even have a Lurantis myself, but like I said, we will cover that by the end of the video for sure. And I don't know, guys. I think this thing has the potential to be one of your best runners, especially in a grass deck. Now, if you don't have the Shiinotic, this is the Morello. I already got it to a level 10 for the tournament that we're currently doing, that Fodder is hosting for the Content Creators Tournament. So I definitely have it set for some of my deck builds. I think it has the potential to be pretty good, but the Shiinotic is going to be a better choice in this gym. Lombre, not going to be an amazing choice, but with its slippery ability, people don't see it, and people get caught off guard. Set up some surrounds, swap out. It's a 3MP, take the goal. If, it depends what you guys have. Pumpkaboo is a 3MP. Not going to be top tier in my opinion, but you can set the evolution for Gourgeist, and if you get lucky and evolve, it's going to be a little bit stronger. And the trick or treat, you know, you can put those pumpkin markers down. You can actually come off of the bench if your entry points are taken and they have a pumpkin marker on them. And we have Phantom, was super MVP in the first grass gym. I don't know that it's going to be really easy to evolve, but if there's some Lurantis, some Torterra, there's a lot of Pokemon that are highly crippled by confusion. So mine's level 5, I think it would be worth getting it to level 10 and set the evolution, but it's a decent runner, guys. It's an uncommon. Petalil, if you don't have the Lilligant, even Petalil on its own with that grass knot could potentially be better than Lilligant's Spinner, because there's going to be, again, a lot of Pokemon hitting for over 120 damage, and it can sleep Pokemon. I think it's worth putting some Carmonite into it. I don't know what you would want to level up, though. You know, the blue's going to give you weight. The sleep powder is only a 1-star, but I think it's a decent runner, guys. You know, you got to make do with what you have. And, you know, if you're not running some of the top tier EXs, Cacnea, guys, this is something you can get from the hotels. I grinded and grinded these hotels till I got a chain level 10, and then it was easy to get to a level 10 with Carmonite. It's a pretty OP runner, and you can set that evolution for the Cacturne. So let's go ahead, we're going to take a look at some of the ice types. There's definitely a lot less ice types than there are grass types. Kyurem. Kyurem is definitely going to be a top contender, guys. I mean, look at this wheel. He's going to have a base 130. I have one chain level because I got it from the 10 pack, but it normally has a 110 ice beam. Now, you can set this Pokemon up with that Never Melt Ice Plate, and then you're going to get another 20 damage on top of that. So the Outrage has a base 150 already. So it's going to have a 170 in the gym, a 190 with a Never Melt Ice Plate. This thing's going to be insane, okay? And if you do, by some string of bad luck, get knocked out, there's a Pokemon that hits harder, maybe another Kyurem. It's going to get frozen if you land that Ice Beam. If it gets confused, it's going to be switching into that Outrage more often than not. Really like Kyurem, guys. Really like Kyurem. I don't even think you need the white or black. But let's take a look at Articuno. He did recently get a buff. He has a 130 Steel Wing now. You could easily put a Never Melt Ice Plate and a Sharp Beak plate on the Articuno, and that's going to be an amazing figure. Frost Rotom is definitely a new Pokemon. You could also run it with the Tapu Koko. There's a lot of Pokemon that give sleep, so you could run Koko. You could run this Frost Rotom, or Rotom, however you want to say it. You could set it up with a Never Melt Ice Plate, and it's going to be pretty strong. I mean, it's going to have a base 110 as is, so you can get that up to a 130, a 160 with Tapu Koko. It's going to be pretty insane. Avalugg, I think it's going to be decent for its ability. You know, I think you need to have the plate, the refrigerator. You can turn all Pokemon to ice types and then switch with it. Glaceon, it's going to be decent. You can put a Never Melt Ice Plate on it as well and make it a decently strong runner in freeze Pokemon. Lapras, I expanded the Ice Beam, so if I get knocked out, it's going to freeze the opponent. But I don't think it's going to be a great choice, but you can put Pokemon to sleep with it. The Weavile used to be really good to use, even with the Never Melt Ice Plate. Even if you evolve from the Sneasel, I mean, the Sneasel has a spinner, but I don't know. I think some of the grass types are going to be better to use, especially with the Lurantis and the Fomantis. But I don't know. You could run the Weaviles. They get plus 20 off each other, plus 20 from Gym. If you want to run the Never Melt Ice Plate, I don't know. But these are the ice types, you know. Bergmite, if you're really struggling, say you just have like one Kyurem and you really want to run a ice deck. I mean, Bergmite has a decent chance to freeze Pokemon. Lapras, you could even run the Dratini. Dratini has that huge, I don't even remember what it's called, but I know it freezes the opponent. So let's take a look at some of the Pokemon I don't currently have. Lurantis, definitely highly susceptible to confusion. So Sableye, you know, I think people are going to be running Sableye. Sableye is just usually all around good, but not only are you going to give yourself a +2 for every grass type Pokemon on the field, not just your own, all grass types, you know, you're going to be able to knock out Pokemon no matter what if they have weight. So it synergizes well with Pokemon that have weight, and it kind of has an Earthquake with that, with the 90 attack. It can make other Pokemon, just the opponent spin though, not your own, and if they land a miss, they get knocked out. White Kyurem It's an ice type, okay? It is going to get a plus 20. I don't know that it's going to be worth it to run with other dragons. I think it's just going to be too slow. I do like white Kyurem more than black Kyurem because that Draco meter is always good. But I don't think that you're going to need the play. I don't think you're going to have to use those in the gym, guys. I really don't. But if you want to try them out, go ahead. Pokemon outside of the typing. Mega Mewtwo X, it can't be knocked out. You can shove people. It's amazing. You know, if you have it, if you're lacking other Pokemon. Electros, you are going to be able to stop Pokemon that are electric or if you paralyze them. Zoroark, okay, this guy definitely has a place in my deck starting out in this gym because that cross counter is amazing. There's a lot of white attacks, so even that Night Daze is not a bad roll, and it has some gold. There's a lot of purple, guys. Zoroark being able to switch out, I love it. You know, Altaria you could be running. I mean, you can try to put together some of your normal league decks. Lunala, Solgaleo, obviously, just to kind of protect against that Typhoon Slash. The Typhoon Slash can definitely be the most enraging thing, like to lose, to be just whipping your opponent and be in a position to almost win, then they run up and get a lucky Typhoon Slash for the win. I mean, I've done it. I think we've all done it if we have Virizion. It's all happened to us. Tapu Koko, it's going to get wrecked by the Bulu, but there are some electric types like Zapdos and things to use. Terrakion to negate that blue, like on the Shiinotic as well. Definitely annoying. Blaziken, definitely that I think you want to put everything into the Cyclone kick because its damage isn't going to be, you know, it's going to be pretty easily matched, but Zapdos for the gold with the Koko, you could run it with the Rotom, Yveltal to stop the ghost types like Phantom, like Decidueye, and then if you have other dark types like Cacturne, like Sableye, you are going to be able to stop all of their ghost type Pokemon. Sableye is always a great choice, you guys know that. Let's take a look at some of these other Pokemon. You could put the Hypno in your deck if you are planning to go for a sleep deck, like with the Trevenant, with the Shiinotic. Definitely a good choice, because I think Koko might be something you want to run. Vibrava to slow down the rush. Bronzor with that heavy slam, there's going to be a lot of 3MP, so being able to knock out those 3MPs no matter what. And, you know, I think Carmonite's a good choice for it. Poliwhirl, I think, is definitely going to be an MVP in this gym. If you look at a lot of the top tier grass types and even Kyurem as an ice type, Poliwhirl heavily counters a lot of these Pokemon, guys. A lot of these wheels, it's like they were made to just be destroyed by Poliwhirl. So I definitely want to try out a few different decks, and I think Poliwhirl is going to be the hidden gem, guys. But leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. I think that's going to wrap this one up. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. Follow me on Twitter, KDub175, and until the next one, later, guys.